So, welcome to this grueling and very tough encounter here at Harare Sports Club. It is the PitBulls, reigning champions for over 5 years, only dethroned last year by Old Georgians. And immediately there's a yellow card against FS Raiders. Some really cynical play, indiscipline as well coming through. But PitBulls will definitely be hungry this year to try and make things happen, deciding to find open space and gaps. And I think you can see that PitBulls here have been practicing and definitely have everything in check so far. But it is a knock-on, and the FS Raiders will be hungry to actually show them a thing or two. And again, PitBulls will find themselves on the wrong side of the law. Now FS Raiders will want to launch this. Now FS Raiders, for those of you that may not know the club, and a club established around about 2016, has done phenomenally well when it comes to the women's game. In terms of the men's game, they are growing into it. Came into the Division 1 just last year, and they were able to gain themselves promotion into the Premier Division. And now they are playing and dancing with the big boys. And so let's see whether they'll be able to hold fort. One of the youngsters I do want to keep my eye on is the hooker for PitBulls. Played as a hooker for Churchill last year. Fantastic youngster, this boy. I do believe that he's got a future, and it will be something that we'll be watching out for. Another knock-on by PitBulls. It is a little bit of a scrappy affair at the start here, Mohad.
This is a game that always gives you goosebumps, because remember, it's sort of like a grudge game, like someone need to say something, but here we go. It's PitBulls against FS Raiders. FS Raiders, we don't see the old faces yet. PitBulls with a couple of experienced guys. Then you see big guys from FS Raiders being put back, which means something fitness to work on. But I think they're giving a run for their man. PitBulls is going to do something. Ref calls for an offside. PitBulls are going to be punished for being offside. Cynical thing. I need to be disciplined when you're playing guys who are underdogs to you. Be disciplined, teach them something, rather than you play a scrappy game like FS Raiders. We won't rate them as champions because they haven't won so many games. FS Raiders still have the ball, rack, and somebody fell in the rack. Ref didn't see that one and tried to break through there. FS Raiders, if you take a look at FS Raiders, we're not seeing faces like there's Bobby there, usual 9, tried to kick it through, went straight in the hands of a winger kicks it. PitBulls, everyone is offside, trying to get everyone onside. They can now go for the ball. Missed it, and it's still on. He went backward, trying to do a good step. Now a good step worked.
Good step did not work, and it won't work. Well, there we go. And once again, PitBulls now on the ball, trying to get the ball out here. Oh, love it when a Lucid pops the ball out. And the forwards here, but again another knock-on. I don't know if the ref said play on there, a little bit weird, but that was a knock-on. And now FS Raiders are defending for their lives right now. It's now deep within their own 22. Ball comes out. They do have some men on the outside. Breaks 1, 2 tackles, 3 tackles, and it is a try time. But the referee there, surely should have consulted with the touch judges if he didn't get a peek into that one, because I think that was plain for all of us to see that there must have been a knock-on there. But then again, it is try time for the PitBulls,
The ref decision stays.
and it stands so 5 points to 0. But it looks like we do have an injured FS Raiders player there, and that will need to be sorted out. Now, my eyes do fail me. I'm not so sure if that is Lisiwa Sarevu there, but definitely coming in to just have a chat with the boys, try to get them focused and zone in on things. And I think one of the things that FS Raiders would have needed to have done today is try not to be as physical, because PitBulls, you can expect physicality. You can see the size of the boys. They are big, big boys. So what you want to see is you want to see somebody that is going to intelligently play around them, that is going to intelligently find ways of getting past them. The kick comes in, the kick is successful, looks good, and PitBulls 7 points to 0. But I don't know more. You could tell me from a coaching perspective, coming up against PitBulls, surely the physical battle you won't win.
Surely the physical battle you won't win, and physical always is accompanied by speed. These guys, they are fast. So if you want to play these guys, you gotta outsmart them. If they run, try more interception, but be careful. The yellow card coming, looming your way. If you try an interception and fail, remember. And so these guys, if you're playing guys like PitBulls, avoid contact. Always fix your defender. Give them a run for their man, and they get tired quickly. And if you match up, you might end up harvesting something at the end of the day. A kick from FS Raiders deep into the PitBulls side and knocked it into touch. Let's see how the ref gonna give it. Supposed to be an option for a scrum or a line out, and then they gave a line out only because he knocked it into touch.
Oh yes, knocked it into touch. So this is an opportunity for FS Raiders now to try and redeem themselves. They are just only trailing by 7 points to 0 very early on within this match. So let's see how they go about business from here. Of course, playing with 14 men, and they'll be hoping that that clock runs much faster than it actually is right now. Ball comes to PitBulls, and there we go. PitBulls now on the charge, looking to take the gap, trying to build another phase here. Ball is sent out wide. Oh, lovely pass. Is running it down the line, breaking 1 or 2 tackles. They keep on making meters. I think they've gained over 20 to 30 meters just in that one phase of play. Now swinging it back to the near side. The big man goes into contact. They will continue to drive here, will the PitBulls, but they have been held back by FS Raiders. The ball has popped out. Now he'll be looking to make some inroads. He has broken one tackle, but finally goes into another one. And the PitBulls, yes, are able to regain possession there. FS Raiders did not let go of the ball whilst on the floor. PitBulls breaks through one tackle. That was a big tackle, and immediately the referee once again blows a quick tap and go, trying to catch FS Raiders by surprise. Once again, they are not back 10. And out of picture, we do have one of the flankers from FS Raiders injured. But PitBulls will go ahead, tap, dive over the whitewash, and that is 12 points to 0. So I am sure the communication from Jeff Madaki must have been quite clear. Railroad these boys and teach them who plays better rugby. And I'm sure that will be the communication even at halftime. But one thing I must say is, who can break the partnership of Jeff Madaki and Bob Mahari? And so PitBulls will be looking for another opportunity to extend the lead. Well, the conversion is good. So 14 points to 0. Well, coming back to restart play, FS Raiders, and they'll be looking for an opportunity to just do things a little bit better. Not so sure that there is much time here to be discussing things here. And there we go, a high hanging kick. It goes past the 10, but everybody was looking back on it, and the referee says it didn't go past the 10, so I would have felt it did go past the 10 anyway. But nonetheless, it is going to be a scrum right in the middle of the park. And PitBulls are in possession. Well, that scrum does collapse. The referee is going to ask for that one to be redone. So another scrum. This time round, much cleaner. Eighthman picks up the ball and decides to go on the other side, and immediately Churchill, or rather PitBulls, on the attack. Really quick ball that we're seeing here, but FS Raiders are able to turn over possession. Decide to kick for touch. I'm not sure that was the smartest idea at that particular point. And that line out will go to PitBulls. So just waiting for the boys to line up. And line out is clean and proper. Oh, lovely pop pass. Huge overlap that has been built here. Decides to cut back inside. Not the greatest of ideas. And he was held up. So great defensive work from FS Raiders. And he didn't need to cut back inside. He had a huge overlap on the outside. If he had taken that, that would have helped. Now it looks like we've got two injured players from FS Raiders. The injury count not looking too good for FS Raiders now. So it looks like both players are now up. At least they're able to move around, so hopefully that will help. An in-goal dropout. That one is punched back inside, and play will be started by PitBulls. Lovely passes, and PitBulls are on the charge now. An inside pop pass, and looking to keep continuity here. and finally goes to ground. And the referee calls that he was held up for long enough, and possession will change hands. So interesting to see what will happen from this particular point. It is going to be a scrum for FS Raiders. Looks quite clean, but the shove from PitBulls is crazy. And a desperate kick in defense doesn't go past the halfway line. And now PitBulls running the ball down the line. Decides to cut back inside. Takes 3 men to take him down. But again, oh goodness me, FS Raiders are offside advantage being played. Huge overlap on the outside. Surely this should be try time, and it definitely is a try time. So that is a successful conversion again. So 21 points to 0 for PitBulls. Once again, just beginning to pull away from FS Raiders. And so that is a restart of play. It was a pretty good restart, but it is a knock-on advantage to PitBulls. Looks like holding on to the ball there, and a penalty given to FS Raiders.
Or women's team's representative, please could you convene at the tag thing. Thank you.
And so now it's a penalty, a quick tap and go, and decides to go for it. Don't know if they'll make it over. If PitBulls do concede here, it will be a challenge. But once again, not letting go after having made the tackle. FS Raiders with an opportunity. He has been held up, and PitBulls will hold them up. Use the post as support, I think. Well, they've been held up. And it is going to be scrummed down, and it's in PitBulls' favor. So FS Raiders there maybe needed to have taken the conversion. Might have been an easier option to try and get some points on the board, but that didn't happen. And so this scrum, which you would think should be quite easy for PitBulls, as they have been bullying the FS Raiders scrum as well. So picked up and decide to find touch and make sure that they go for safety first, which is a great idea. And so that line out will belong to FS Raiders, but they have lost all the territory that they had initially gained. It is still the first half, 21 points to 0. And it looks like it's a free kick. Just time on the clock. And it's a quick tap and go here. Going straight for it. Oh! But what a lovely offload. Great play. Whilst everybody enjoyed the tackle, I think the timing of the offload was superb and gave PitBulls that other advantage once again. And again, back 10, FS Raiders need to be disciplined here. They'll keep on losing territory. They are going to go for it. And it looks like he has just fallen short of the line. And now PitBulls have got an overlap on the far side. And can they get over? I don't think they can. Fallen short, and finally picking it up at the back of the ruck and diving and dotting it down. It is 26 points to 0. And it's just only the first half. So PitBulls are really being aggressive right now against the FS Raiders. I'm sure there will be a discussion at our halftime break. What needs to be done and how far they need to get it going. So as this first half continues to roll on, 26 points on the board. Goes for it. Didn't have the direction. Did have some of the legs, but didn't have the direction. So they will have to be start of play. And PitBulls knock that ball on. FS Raiders will have the knock-on advantage here. They do actually retain possession. And now trying to make headway of their own. So Mohad is back, and 26 points to 0 in favor of the PitBulls right now against FS Raiders. And it's looking like it might just be a tough day, a tough assignment for them. Let's see how they move on from this. The knock-on advantage did always belong to FS Raiders from the start. And so they will have possession here and should try and launch something. We did mention the physicality of PitBulls, not to be underestimated or not to be challenged. But unfortunately, it seems like FS Raiders have decided to go a different route.
Yeah, good to be back after a short break. The yellow card is back in play, which means we're now even. And you see, they utilized that advantage when they were playing with 14 men against 15. Now they have a game. They thought that they were going to walk away with it, like walking in the park, and the FS Raiders brought all the arsenals that they have. They're trying, they have to stop the PitBulls, which is so good. good in passing. As we are witnessing, PitBulls offload so very, very, very good to each other as they are attacking, and they know where someone is as soon as they start running. Here comes FS Raiders trying to defend so well. Good tackles. You can see even all their tackles are completed, and ref calls for a forward pass. The crowd didn't like it, but unfortunately the ref calls it's a forward pass. So if the ref says it, otherwise it is.
Yeah, look, let's be honest. I also did feel it was a forward pass. As he was going down, he didn't look backwards, but rather looked forward as he was going to the ground. So it was bound to be like that. But once again, PitBulls looking really fluid, and it just shows that the boys know each other very, very well, and they're able to stitch up their play. And one of the things that you will find is that with Jeff Madaki's very aggressive forward build-up and play, as well as Bob Mahari's slick passing within the back line, it makes for a fantastic combination. As you can see, the forwards right now from PitBulls are just bullying FS Raiders in the scrums. All of them, not one of them has FS Raiders found themselves in there. Well, I think the crowd may be excited with that, but in international rugby, that's a tip tackle, and it is a penalty against you. So I think there are certain things that we need not continue to celebrate, as they tend to make us pay when we get to the international level. But there we have it. It looks like we do have a penalty here, holding on to the ball. A quick tap and go. Oh, they want to be scoring as many points as they can. PitBulls here. But finally taken to ground. Decides to go on the outside and refuse to be pulled into touch. And that's a really good play there, knowing exactly where the touch line is. Deciding to go into contact. It was a very isolated run, but quite lucky. FS Raiders did nothing. Decides to go on the blind side. But the ball is ripped away here by FS Raiders. Now picked up. And there we go. Ball finally comes out now. Lovely offload and great hands to pick that ball up from his knees. Looking for clean ball. And surely this could be another try if FS Raiders do not organize their defense quickly enough. A huge gap, a big dive, another try. I saw that try coming. FS Raiders, their defense has already gone tired. And the reason they've gone tired, Moad, it's simple. They played the physical game. They are now running out of steam. And now PitBulls is just picking up on all of the gaps that are opening up.
Yes. If FS Raiders had matched their PitBulls physicality, they could have keep giving PitBulls a run for their money. But because if you look at this try, it's a hard-earned try. They worked hard for it, and they surely got it because FS Raiders couldn't keep up. But all the way, FS Raiders is trying all their best to be in the same page with PitBulls. But nevertheless, you expect such things when you play the reigning champions for so long, and these guys, they've great chemistry amongst all the teams. You can tell, I think they bond very well compared to other teams. They know who is who runs where do we want the things, and they're on it. If they make a mistake, you never hear PitBulls guys getting on each other's nerve. They understand it's a mistake. These other guys, if they make a mistake, boom, they lost it. You see, when the other person didn't tackle somewhere there, you see them pointing at each other.
Yeah, the body language. The body language is poor. But anyway, PitBulls are now leading 33 points to 0. Oh my gosh, a couple of tackles there that have been broken through. A quick pick and go. They do want continuity, do the PitBulls. And now it looks like the ball is plain and clear. FS Raiders have been able to steal it, but it looks like they were coming in there, falling over there into the ruck, sealing it. But now the ball is running down the line. Oh, a dummy from the big man. And again, another forward pass. once he went for the dummy, he was supposed to have offloaded that one, but the moment that he kept hold of or onto it as well, he wasn't able to then offload it in time.
That's the funny thing about it. If you dummy, sometimes you always dummy with your own players. So you need to know if you dummy and your players also bought it. Keep it rather than you forcing now. Well done, dummy. But the second thing, you're forcing stuffs, which will result in pin out against us. In an advantage to FS Raiders. FS Raiders taking the scrum now. Throw it in, but big push from the PitBulls side. These guys always have a good shove when they push their scrum, but still FS Raiders have position, trying to do something. That's a guy called Mabrugwa. I'm not familiar with the name. Do you know the name of the scrum half?
Yes, definitely familiar with them, and unfortunately they're just being pushed back into their own 22, and really don't understand why they kept on trying to run across. They needed to have found safety first, get safety first, and then we can go for the flare later. And so with that, it is a knock-on, and they are ceding possession to the likes of PitBulls. So and a big shove here. They keep on going. They keep on going. They keep on going. And it is try time. Goodness me. That's now 38 points to nil with the conversion yet to come. So as the kicking tee comes out, you will expect again an opportunity for the boys to try and get something here. And he misses that one, so they'll have to be content with 38 points to nil, still in the first half of this encounter. Another high hanging kick. I decided to go for a big torpedo, and that one is going all the way in. Chasers are coming here from PitBulls. A lovely sidestep. He decides to go for physicality, and once again, a bad idea. A very, very bad idea. A very bad idea. And luckily for them, they still do have possession. Decide to go for a kick. Doesn't really find itself anywhere. And the eighth man picks it up. Decides to pass it out. Oh, the ball bounces behind. And that pass not executed. So it is going to be a line out for FS Raiders, but very dangerous play in their own, red zone. Surely once you get the ball in the red zone, clear your lines. Kick for touch, find touch, kick it downfield, do something. Just don't find yourself in a position where you put your own teammates under pressure. Oh, that one is a knock-on from a PitBulls. And so possession handed back to FS Raiders. Relatively impressed with the crowd that has come out. It is the second round of fixtures in the Paramount Garments Under 20 Rugby League. Ball finally does come out. It's wobbling everywhere. Decides to go for a couple of side steps and dummies and goes through a couple of tackles. Ball comes out once again. And the tackles are coming in hard from PitBulls. They do have a little bit of an overlap. Decide to go for a kick downfield. Not a bad idea when you're in your red zone. But the referee blows for a penalty for a high tackle, and PitBulls will have to go back 10. Kick downfield, doesn't find touch. Deciding to use the blind side, breaking through a couple of tackles, finally taken down. Ball comes out. Again, PitBulls on the charge. No communication. And they've been held up in the mall. But the referee will call play back to the initial infringement, which was a knock-on. So it will be a scrum. And there we go, FS Raiders just putting themselves in a whole lot of trouble and holding on to the ball. A quick tap. Wanted to go for it, but I don't think it was there. And this time round it's PitBulls holding on, so that's a penalty for FS Raiders. There's a huge overlap here on the near side if they wanted to go for a quick tap and go. But they decide to reorganize themselves. This time round, swung. Now to the picked up once again. And PitBulls going for it, a big shove. And it is a try time there. So FS Raiders were kind of waiting to actually see if that was done properly. And it is a try time. So FS Raiders now trailing 43 points to 0. And PitBulls will continue to apply the pressure. So a real baptism of fire here for FS Raiders, who are playing in the Premier Division now. They say when you want to dance with the big boys, this is the pressure that comes. The conversion doesn't look proper. And that calls for the halftime break. 43 points to nil. PitBulls in the lead over FS Raiders.